Okay guys, so once you're done cutting out your design, you do what we call a proof print. And a proof print is done on newsprint paper, which is what newspapers are printed on. And everybody is going to be using plain black ink for the proof print. You're also going to use black ink for at least one print on good paper. But the point of the proof print is to really let you see what you have on your linoleum, like what might you still need to cut away, or if you're ready to go as it is. So what we're gonna do is everybody, you guys are gonna do this at the back table, and I'll be back there to help you. This is very similar to what we did last year with printmaking with the styrofoam, but you get a piece of plexiglass. You take the brayer, you set it down on the plexiglass. You never want to put out ink, a strip of ink any wider than the brayer. Again, we're going to use black printing ink and black printing ink. This is ink, not paint. Remember, ink is stickier than paint, right? It doesn't drip, it's not pourable. It is sticky. That's so that it stays sticky on the surface of your linoleum block and doesn't get pressed down into all of those areas that you carved away. So now we have to even this out, and so I'm going to not just go back and forth, pull the brayer down, pick it up, go back to the top, pull it down, pick it up, go back to the top. So I'm going to do that a bunch of times, going this way. And so you might notice it's getting even on all sides of the brayer. I'm also going to flip the direction of the brayer and go the opposite way. Now, if you end up with too much ink, I will have those cards from last year, and they can help you just kind of pick up some extra. You always want to use this then, and just kind of set it off to the side until you need more. So you have to make sure the ink sounds nice and sticky. If there are big lines through it, it means you have too much ink out there. If you can hear that sound, that is good. You want to see all those little peaks of ink like you can see on the brayer here. Okay, that means it's a good amount of ink. So I'm gonna take my piece of linoleum and I'm gonna evenly ink it up. So I'm gonna roll this across the surface, going one way and then the other. It's looking pretty good. Now I'm gonna take my paper and I'm gonna line it up again. This is newsprint paper. I'm gonna set it down, try to line it up over top of the whole piece of linoleum, and then I'm just gonna take the heel of my hand, which is this part of your hand right here. My one hand is gonna hold the paper in place on here very gently, while the other hand rubs the surface, making sure that you rub the entire back of the paper. And I can feel the corners, the edges of the linoleum as I'm rubbing it with the heel of my hand. And once you think you got everything, you can lift it up. Okay, check out my print. So at this point, I can choose to carve away any areas that I might still want to carve away. First, you need to clean off the block, and you do that with just plain water, no soap. Dry it off entirely. So I might choose to get rid of, this piece right here, or maybe a couple of these pieces that printed that maybe I wasn't interested in them printing. So that's the point of the proof print. It's like a practice print to tell me, what does it look like? Notice that it is in reverse. So when I'm looking for this piece of linoleum here, I need to make sure that I go on next to the leaf. So that would be over here. That's this little guy. Okay, so they're opposite. So make sure you keep that in mind as you're looking for those little extra pieces to carve away. So now I'm gonna go clean my block, carve some extra pieces, and then I can start printing on good paper.